You're listening to Local Color on 88.7 WNCW. Want to let you know that Local Color live sessions are made possible with the help of Landslide Studio, a full-service recording destination just minutes north of the heart of downtown Asheville, dedicated to serving the local music community. You can find out more at landslidestudio.com. This afternoon, we have got as our guest Moses Atwood and his fine band. Welcome.
Hey, Laura.
Thanks so much for being here. What are you going to start us off with?
I'm going to play a tune called Hard Disposition. Well, this living on the run, that will cause the hard disposition. I mean, it's hard getting out, it's hard getting in. Once the heart grows that thicker skin, and still I love that woman the best that I can. It may seem shallow, but it's deeper than I've been in a long while. Because how much weight can I carry down? I mean, how much weight can we carry down? I think you can see how it happened to be. I, who wanted so much to believe in the dream, in the dream. Well, this living on the run, that will cause the hard disposition. I mean, it's hard getting out, it's hard getting in. Once the heart grows that thicker skin, and still I love that woman the best that I can. It may seem shallow, but it's deeper than I've been in a long while. I think I feel it coming up. I think I feel it coming up, all right. I think I feel it coming up. I think I feel it coming up, all right.
You've been listening to the music of Moses Atwood, recorded at Landslide Studio as part of the Local Color Live at Landslide series. So is that off the new record?
It is. It's off the new record.
It seems like what I remember about you is kind of a freewheeling ramble about world traveler kind of perspective that you had in your music, and it seems like what you're doing now is a little more settled and maybe a little more introspective. Would you agree with that, or am I off base there?
I mean, it could be. I've been settled in Asheville now for about 4.5 years, and I think a lot of the music I was writing the last time that we met here was I'd been here about a year or less, so I think that might be a natural reflection of just where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked, you were living out of your van down on Lexington Avenue, and I'm sure there were many adventures that would accompany that.
By the skate park, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me who's in your band with you today?
Yeah, we've got on the guitar, I've got Matt Smith here, and Evan Martin on the drums, and David Mack over there on the bass.
And it seems like you worked with some other notable Asheville folks in making your new record.
Yeah, Michael Libermento played a huge role in the arranging and playing on the record. And as what Matt played on the record as well, and Justin Ray and Jacob Rodriguez played some horns on it.
So talk a little bit about the new record. It's about to come out, I realize, to the large general public, but talk a little bit about the making of it.
The number of songs that I had in my that I'd written started accumulating to the point where I really was feeling an urgency to start recording them. It's sort of like baggage that you need to find a way of getting out there. So I wanted to record outside of Asheville and get the musicians that I wanted involved in the project into a different environment, someplace where we would go specifically for the purpose of making a record, and that we would be in this new place just doing that.
What was your rationale behind that?
Just from personal experience, I think I've found with musical projects where you're collaborating with people that it's good to get into a more isolated environment and out of your normal ordinary setting. So rather than trying to patch together recording sessions over a length of time, being I can meet you on Tuesday at 2 and we can record for 5 hours and then and then do that again and for over a number of months until the record is finished. I at this point think of recording records as capturing sort of a moment in time. And so I think it helps to just go to a place and get it done, which is also partially has to do with budget and just needing to bang it out. And so we went to Philadelphia and to Bill Moriarty's Waking Studio, and we did it in about a week.
It seems like, too, having that isolation factor would enable the creative process to kind of manifest in a totally different way than being in your natural routine at home, too.
Yeah. And, the record wasn't... We played the tunes a lot, Michael and I did, before we recorded, but it certainly wasn't pre-arranged. We didn't go in knowing the parts or the tempos or anything. It was just, we're just going to go, and whatever we get out of this week is going to be the basis of the record. And that was sort of my creative intent behind the project, was just to go and get it done.
Nice. We're talking today with Moses Atwood and his fine band. They have got a CD release show coming up Friday, March 30th at the Lexington Avenue Brewery. They're also playing a couple more shows in the area I'd like to mention. Friday, April 6th at the Altamont Theater, Wednesday, April 18th at Asheville Music Hall, and finally Saturday, May 19th at the Porter Center in Brevard, North Carolina. Can we get to another tune?
Yeah. Let's do One Bright Boat. This is the title track off the new record. Triumphant, she rode the seas. See how her shadow grows wings upon the waves. Oh, sweet song, could you rising again and bring her back to raging wind? A dark water is circling, circling, turns right. Only one brighter boat rides within. Humble is as humble does. Ain't got no pride if you ain't got no cause. I'm tired of being the sad man. I'm tired of all the sad songs. I'm tired of living my life like I done something wrong. Hard to do. Little black cloud keeps following you. If you see a little light, let a little light shine through. What more can we hope to do? What more can we hope to do? Triumphant, she rode the seas. See how her shadow grows wings upon the wave. Oh, sweet song, won't you rise again and bring her back to raging wind? A dark water is circling, circling, that's right there. Only one bright boat rides within. Humble is as humble does. You ain't got no pride if you ain't got no cause. I'm tired of being the sad man. I'm tired of all the sad songs. I'm tired of living my life like I done something wrong. Following you. If you see a little light, let a little light shine through. What more can we hope to do? What more are we hoping to do? Well,
You've been listening to the music of Moses Atwood, recorded as part of the Local Color Live at Landslide series for Local Color on WNCW. That was the title track from his forthcoming CD, One Bright Boat. So it seems like you've made a little bit of a switch, stylistically, at any rate, and incorporating more piano, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Did you teach yourself piano a while back? Did I read that?
I took some lessons when I was a kid, but sort of gave it up pretty early. So I've been picking it back up in the last couple of years.
So what?
Just myself, yeah.
What prompted that?
I don't know. I probably just sat down at one day and was like, I like this. It's a really great instrument for composing and for singing, and I feel like every different instrument that I pick up sort of it inspires me to play it sort of a different type of music. So it's made me a lot happier as a musician to have a lot of different instruments that I can use to write songs, and
I guess different colors for the palette.
It's just variety and keeps me feeling challenged and that I can bring a lot of variety into a performance.
Do you find that you approach the whole act of writing and arranging differently on different instruments?
I can't say that I approach the act of writing differently. That sort of tends to be similar. It's just more that the style seems to change depending on the instrument and what it suggests to me at a given time.
It seems like, too, you're pulling in some different influences with this record as opposed to the last one. Maybe a little bit more Van Morrison, Randy Newman.
Oh, yeah, those are my two top dogs right there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's part of what's made this, new music really fun for me is to, I started out as a songwriter just being really influenced by the great solo songwriters and bluesmen, Townes Van Sant and Guy Clark and, going back, Skip James and people like that. And I was just sort of obsessed with playing the guitar and being able to sort of hold my own on a stage as a guitarist and a singer. But that, I still do that, and I'm still writing new songs in that sort of style. And when I play a show, I like to do both. I generally will do a solo set and then do a band set. But the solo songwriter thing, as I'm sure you understand, got kind of lonely and difficult for me to feel like I was finding new variety and material. So being able to play with a band and to sort of start tapping into the community of musicians in town has been really exciting for me.
Nice. We're talking today with Moses Atwood. He is here with his band at Landslide Studio. Want to make a mention of some shows they have coming up. Friday, March 30th, they have a CD release show for One Bright Boat at the Lexington Avenue Brewery. Friday, April 6th at Altamont Theater. Wednesday, April 18th at Asheville Music Hall. And finally, Saturday, May 19th at the Porter Center in Brevard, North Carolina. Can we get to another tune?
Sure. This one is called Hard Times in Hollywood. Hard times in Hollywood, Hollywood, man, Hollywood. Hard times in Hollywood, ain't no work for me anymore. Goddamn Hollywood, Hollywood, man, Hollywood. Goddamn Hollywood, ain't no work for me anymore. Big titties, little dogs, brains are small, but the dreams are large. I'm going to Hollywood, Hollywood, man, ha ha, Hollywood. Hard times in Hollywood, ain't no work for me anymore. Ain't no work for me anymore. Ain't no work for me anymore.
You've been listening to the music of Moses Atwood, recorded at Landslide Studio, with a tune that I'm sure many a struggling actor and performer can relate to. You spent a little time on the West Coast, is that right?
I lived and studied in San Francisco for a little while. And my sister is an actress and lived in L.A. And I went to visit her in L.A. and ended up writing that song years after the visit, but it was inspired by my time there.
Sure. It seems like it was quite an inspiring period. I had read somewhere about you that you've gotten more into writing songs that give the listener a sense of place. And did that kind of originate from your travels, or is that just something you always wanted to do? How did that come about?
You know, it's just something that I've always liked in songs that I've heard. Again, I love Randy Newman, and he has a lot of great songs, you know, that are about places, and I always find that it really sparks something in my imagination when I hear a song that's just specifically about a place or a county or a state. There's something appealing in that, and I've found that I've written more tunes over the years that are place specific.
Seems like too you've kind of been afflicted with the bug of loving Southern music that is reminiscent or that comes from musicians that hail from the South. And has that been a lifelong thing?
It has. I mean, that's part of what brought me down here in the first place, in my van. and not, I wasn't planning on staying in Asheville. I had a romantic vision of traveling the South and absorbing all these different musical styles and, hanging out in Mississippi on a porch somewhere, or something. I feel that either I've been influenced by music and musicians that are actually from the South, or by musicians that are directly influenced by that music but aren't from there, like the band, who are Canadian, but
Yeah, you can tell that they listen to some old country and blues records when you listen to them. Also, too, I wasn't aware until I Googled Moses Atwood's Jaundice Bitters today that's not your real name. Is that something that you make public, or are you planning on booking shows as Matt? I can edit it out if you're not.
Thanks a lot.
Are you going to be doing shows as Matthew Chase and shows as Moses Atwood, or how?
No, I mean, Moses Atwood is the name I sort of took on when I first started writing music, as sort of an experiment, a creative experiment, as well as a bit of a buffer for myself as far as advertising and as far as having the courage to get up and do it in the first place. But it was also just an experiment in terms of, at first, it was sort of an idea of creating sort of a character, and a lot of the songs on my first record, the self-titled record, are exploring, darker types of material, murder ballads, and this sort of things that I sort of imagined Moses Atwood having experienced, or that kind of a thing. But then over the years, it's just sort of completely merged. That record was very successful up in New England, and so it sort of quickly became not a character study, but just sort of another part of myself. And it's difficult to explain sometimes, but it's just sort of the way it's worked out for me,
So for listeners that haven't heard the story of who this Moses Atwood person is, how would you explain that? Or
just the way I just explained it to you, really.
Okay.
When I was writing songs, I really
and first writing songs and trying to think about how I was going to, you know, play them in public and how I was going to, you know, figure out how to start, you know, trying to make a name for myself, literally and figuratively, I guess. I found that name on a Moses Atwood John Bitters bottle in one of my best friend's father's bottle collections, because, you know, Moses Atwood John Bitters, he was a pharmacist in Georgetown, Mass, around the end of the 19th century, and he was bought out at some point, and so his bottles were mass produced. So pretty much anyone with a bottle collection in New England is going to have a Moses Atwood John Bitters bottle.
Almost like an insider joke that covers 4 or 5 states.
Yeah. And I have 4 or 5 of them myself that I've wound up with over the years, presents and stuff.
Nice.
But, you know, I don't try to keep it a secret or anything. You know, it's just, I have 2 names now. It's a crooked web we weave.
We're weaving crooked webs with Moses Atwood and Company here at Landslide Studio. One more final mention, they've got a CD release show coming up March 30th at the Lexington Avenue Brewery, Friday, April 6th at the Altamont Theater in Asheville, Wednesday, April 18th at the Asheville Music Hall, and Saturday, May 19th at the Porter Center in Brevard.
Just to clarify that the April 6th show and the Porter Center show are solo.
Okay. All right, so 2 solo shows in there as well as some band. Definitely spreading yourself around. Good stuff. Can we get to one last tune before you guys have to go?
Yeah. This last tune is called Tell It Like It Is. It's the last tune off my record. On the record, it's a solo, sort of stripped down version, but I like to do it with the band too, so that's what we're going to do today. Once I had a role in a play, and I knew it so well, you know. And every night they would dim the lights for the scene where my mama dies, and every night I'd cry. First, what felt like a dream soon seemed a lie. If that's me, who am I? Or can you feel your history? Of feeding your lines. Look out, light, it can be a puppet show. Every day, the same role. Well, I wish someone would tell it like it is, and for the record this time, I wish someone would tell it like it is, and for the record this time, lay it all on the line.
it so well, so well, so well, you know. And every night they would dim the lights for the scene where my mama dies. And every night I'd cry, cry. Oh. At first what felt like a dream soon seemed a lie. If that's me, who am I? Or can you feel your history? Feeding your lines. Look out, light, it can be a puppet show. Every day, the same role. Yeah, I wish someone would tell it like it is. For the record this time, yeah, I wish someone would tell it like it is. And for the record this time, yeah, I wish someone would tell it like it is. Good this time. Lay it all on the line.
You've been listening to the music of Moses Atwood, along with David Mack, Evan Martin, and Matt Smith here at Landslide Studio. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Laura.